So, you screwed up big time. Took the wrong turn and now you need to somehow go home. You're in a precarious situation. You either need to get down or up a hill, and you need to do it safely. I'm going to show you a few techniques I learned from Hard Enduro that can really save your next adventure ride. This is not a basic riding technique type video. There's a lot of them from Brake Magazine and Adam Riemann and many more who do a really great job at it. This is for when you've really done the deed. You've gone down the wrong way and you need a way to get out safely. I'm by no means a professional, but I do have a bit of Hard Enduro experience. This year I finished Romaniac's bronze class. Not Chris Birch and not Adam Riemann even. These are skills that at any level you can practice, get them to where they're muscle memory, so they can literally save you.
Now, full disclosure, this video was sponsored by Insta360 and their new X5 camera, but more on this one later.
How to safely get down really steep and slippery downhills. Now, first thing that I want to do is turn the engine off. First, because on a lot of these modern bikes, you cannot actually turn off the front ABS, and when it's a washed out downhill, you have a bit of a problem, because if you don't have ABS and you lock the front wheel, fine, you're gonna drop the bike, but you're gonna stay in place. Meanwhile, if you have ABS still on and the ABS refuses to brake, you're just gonna shoot down even quicker. You're not gonna stop. Second, you need to turn off the bike because a lot of times you simply cannot reach your rear brake. You either have to put your feet down, you have to dab, or you might even have to sit alongside your motorcycle and go down this way. But if you do this, normally you don't have access to the rear brake. Except what you can do is put the bike in first gear, kill the engine. Now, if you just let go of the clutch, it's the same exact effect as if you would fully press on your rear brake. Your rear wheel is locked. You can slide down with it locked. If you want to let it go, you just pull a bit on the clutch and the bike will go. You can inch it slowly. If you need to go over something, again, release the clutch a bit and the bike goes. You can take this as slow as you can, as slow as you want. Of course, ideally you would ride down everything with confidence, but sometimes it's just too steep for that, or you don't know what's after the turn. You don't know if you're gonna catch too much speed and stuff like that. What I mean by this is use the rear clutch as a brake. If you let go of the clutch in first gear, don't worry, the bike is not gonna start. Especially on these adventure bikes, you run no risk of that. Okay, so tried going up, but it's just not going to work. Normally a lot of people would keep on trying and try to go as far as possible, hope for a Hail Mary to pull them up. But realistically, most of the time, it's just not going to happen. If you were to stop straight on the hill, you would have a real tough time reaching the ground, because on either side, you're gonna have quite a bit of a way down. Plus, if you stop straight on the hill, then you can't restart from there, because that's why you couldn't go up. Meanwhile, what you have to do is what you saw me doing right here. You come up, you see that, hey, you know what, actually, there's no chance I can make it up this. So at the last 2 seconds, you twist the bars on one side and go like this, right? You try to go perpendicular to the hill. Drop your clutch, turn the bike off and stop. The main reason is from here, it's very easy for me to turn around. I can just let the bike go down and turn back down. Second, you can see here how easily I can reach, because I can lean the bike into the hill and my foot is well planted down on the ground here. This is just way safer. Realistically speaking, 9 out of 10 times, you won't get that Hail Mary, and all you're gonna do is either flip the bike, loop the bike, hurt yourself, right? Better to go back, try again, than to do stuff like this. You have to go on the side of a hill, right? And you have to traverse it like this. Down there, pretty steep downhill. Up there, also pretty steep. What a lot of people will do here is they will try and standing and with their feet down. The problem is, if you sit down, the likelihood of you losing your rear grip is pretty high. Also, it's really easy for you to lose balance and then go down there, which you do not want to do. What you're gonna need to do is stand up. Now, I'm not necessarily saying stand with both feet on the pegs, because I realize sometimes that can be sketchy. The foot that's downwards has to stay on the pegs and put your weight on it. The foot uphill is going to be used for dabbing. You can dangle it and dab whenever you need. You can control where your front goes via the handlebars, right? You can avoid rocks and stuff like that. But the reality is you cannot really control where your rear will go. So you need as much grip on the rear as possible. You are going to need to stand a bit towards the back so that you maximize your rear grip. Now, not saying stand like this, but keep your bars light. So it's gonna look something like this, right? This is the side of a hill. You're gonna go, foot on the peg, and then just easily lean a bit back. Just dab. Doesn't matter where the rear goes, just dab. Also, you might have a tendency to lean the bike towards the hill. Feels safer, I get it, but it's wrong. The more you lean the bike towards the hill, the less grip you're going to have, because the less tire you're going to have in contact with the ground. You try to keep the bike as level as possible. Try to keep it so that if I let go, the bike won't instantly fall down here. It will stay as upright as possible. The more upright you hold it, the more grip you're going to have, and the easier it's going to be for you to side hill. Lean back, feather the clutch, keep the weight on there, all is good. A lot of the shots you've seen in this video would not be possible without today's sponsor, and that's the Insta360 X5 360-degree action camera. This allows you to shoot in up to 8K or 5.7K in log format. The big sensor plus the AI features allow it to shoot incredible nighttime footage, as you're gonna see here. You never have to worry about battery life, as I've been shooting with it all day and it's only at 60%. Plus, if I ever want to top it up, this can go from 0 to 80% in just 20 minutes. You capture one moment from a multitude, an infinite amount of perspectives, which really opens up a realm of creativity. This is what I managed to do during this video. My mirror is in pieces because I shattered it. If the same thing were to happen on the Insta360, that would not be a problem, because now they offer lens replacement kits. With a mirror like this, I have to go to a dealer, order a new one, wait for it, and then mount it back on the bike. With this, I don't need to do that. Just grab a kit, on the fly, change the lens, and I'm ready to go. Now you can really treat these 360 cameras like proper action cameras, like durable, tough action cameras. And you can do it all yourself, which on an adventure, when you're somewhere in a remote place, this is the only real option for it. And make sure to check out the Insta360 X5 down in the description below or in the pinned comments that you're gonna see under the video. This one, I wish I could show it to you in more real conditions, but unfortunately it hasn't rained here in a few days or weeks, so everything is super dry. But you have a hill like the one behind me, right? Let's assume the mid part is dirt, but more specifically, let's assume it's clay. We all know the basics of grass is basically always slippery. And that's true up to a point. Dry dirt compared to dry grass, the dry dirt will be more grippy. But as soon as things get wet, when it's clay out there, there's absolutely no way you're gonna be even sitting on your feet, right? There's no way you're standing, it's just a big slip and slide. The thing with grass is, as long as you have some sort of knobbies on, that's not exactly the case. Grass, even when wet, yes, it loses some of the grip, but it doesn't lose as much as clay would. If you had a hill like this and you had to go either up or down, and it's super muddy, it's super clay, a lot of times it's a better idea to take the grass than to take the mid part. Because as soon as you touch the mid part, if it's clay, you're just gonna instantly spin out. When you go up, fine, you crash and then you come back down, but when you go down, you can just lose control of the bike and it's not a nice situation. I know it's counterintuitive, but trust me on this, on rallies I've actually overtaken multiple people that were struggling to go down these like slimy hills, and I just like bopped along on the grass right next to them and without a problem. You're on a hill, you lost balance, and you need to restart. What I see a lot of people doing is they start the bike, so they've come up to here, right? And then they either lost balance or whatever. They're gonna do is they're gonna just try to book it. And obviously, this is not gonna work. You're just gonna spin the rear wheel. A lot of other people would immediately dismount and start pushing up here. As you can see, most times this doesn't work here. You're just gonna dig yourself a big hole. Pushing your bike should be the last resort, the last thing you try to do. Instead, stop. Take a breath. You're sitting in place. Engine is off, clutch is out. Look down, look what you have here. In this case, you can do a bit of landscaping. So there is this little rock down here. If you wanted to, you could maybe try to push it aside with your foot, right? Take it out so that your rear wheel will not spin on that. Look how far back you can go. See, this is the route that's the problem. But I have about 20 centimeters as a little plateau for it. And I can use that to build up momentum in order to get over the route. With the clutch, while feathering the clutch, you're gonna rock the bike back and forward to feel the traction. I'm gonna put the Insta360 X5 on the handlebars right here so that you are going to be able to see what I do with my clutch in real time. You're gonna see the technique up close and see how the bike reacts whenever I push and pull in the clutch. Right, rock it back and forward, keep it controlled. This will do two things. One, it's gonna help you feel the grip. But second, this is gonna make everything a bit flat. It's gonna trim out all the loose rocks and things like that you might get. Rock it 1 or 2 times, go all the way back, but not like still be on the plateau. And then with a bit more gas, I'm gonna put 1 foot on the foot peg, 1 foot always on the foot peg. Weight a bit towards the rear. You want as much grip and pressure on that rear wheel as you can. So you're gonna try to get as much momentum in those 20 centimeters so you can get over the route. After you got over the route, your revs have to drop. So you're gonna go like, that's how your bike should sound. Yeah, so you see, let's rock the bike a bit, backward and forward. And now, see that? And low revs afterwards, because you've got the grip. That's how you're supposed to do it. There's no pushing involved. All you have to do is keep your weight a bit towards the rear, always feather the clutch, and you're gonna get over stuff like that. Of course, it takes practice, but you should try this before trying to push your bike like a maniac uphill. A natural question you're gonna get is, won't this kill my clutch? And the answer is no, but also yes. Doing this stuff all day will kill your clutch. Because ultimately, this bike weighs twice what a hard enduro bike would weigh. And it has a lot more power and a lot more torque. On the other hand, if you come from a street riding background, you can do this a lot more than you would expect. You can, especially in these short bursts, you can just rock it back and forth. You can slip the clutch, just be careful with it, right? Don't overdo it, and maybe let it cool down if you need to. Sometimes you're gonna get on a trail and this is gonna be the end of the trail and you have to turn around, especially if the trail is narrow. A lot of times you can't use the side stand trick, you can't back out because you might fall or something like that. You see Graham Jarvis and Chris Bird doing this fancy wheelie stuff, which, hey, if you can, it's great, but if you can, I bet you're not watching this video. There's variations where you can accomplish a similar thing. First of all, let's say that's the end of the trail, right? You're gonna go up to it, and then when you see it comes to the end, you're gonna steer into the hill and try to go like up, as much up as you can with 1 foot down. Okay, 1 foot down, so you dab. Kill the bike. Just kill the bike. Kill the engine and step down. If the bike is upright enough, you might be able to hop the front wheel. This is easier on smaller bikes, but it can be achievable on big bikes too. So a bit of this and then this, right? You see? Just hop it. So I push into the suspension, and when it rebounds, I pull the bike towards my left. You don't need to hold any brakes. Again, your engine is off, so you're fine. Now, in this case, the bike will not come more towards me, right? Trying to hop it, it just won't do it. What you can try now is give it a bit of gas, right? Hold the front brake, easily release the clutch, turn the bike on, give it a bit of gas, climb it up on the hill. Then you can rinse and repeat, right? Pull the bike. As you can see, you're basically turning.
If the front brake can't hold the bike from rolling back, you can keep the clutch half engaged and try starting the bike that way. By doing this, when the engine turns on, you will already be at the bite point and it will not go down. But for this, you need to be a bit more familiar with how your clutch works and how it feels.
I haven't moved my rear wheel almost at all. So now I can go a bit down, right? Release the clutch slowly, slowly. Yep, there we go. Once I'm in this position, right? So I'm past halfway point of turning, I can hop onto the bike, hop onto the other side and swap my leg. Now I can easily dab with my right leg because the ground is here. Depending on how your bike is at, if you're a bit too backwards again, pull the clutch in and go forward a bit. Try to stay on the top side of the hill. Stay on top side of the hill. Here you can either shimmy your front wheel down or turn the bike this way and then let it go down. Then let it go front, let it go down, and we've done it. We've turned around. And if you look at the footprint on where we turned around, the rear wheel maybe moved half a meter, if that. And this can be done safely because you have the engine off. Worst thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna drop your bike, but really, it's not that big of a deal. And then you can just go back on the trail that you were on and enjoy the rest of your ride. Now again, make sure to check out the Insta360 X5 down in the description below or in the pinned comments that you're gonna see under the video. They sponsored this video, and this is genuinely a great action camera that I'm gonna be using for a lot of videos from now on. You're used to trying to find traction. Feather the clutch. You try not to spin the rear wheel because you want as much traction to the rear as possible. And most of the times, that's the right thing to do. Except when it's mud. Mud wants to stick to the rear tire. And if your rear wheel is not spinning quickly, mud will accumulate on the rear tire. It will stay on the tire for a full rotation and then go back in. The fresh part of your tire that's gonna try to dig already has mud on it. And mud has absolutely no grip on mud, unlike snow tires, for example. You want to spin the rear tire. You want the tire to flick as much as possible. If you spin it quickly, what it will do is it will, after it goes through the mud, it will throw out the mud towards the rear. And so whenever that part of the tire comes back around here, it will be clean. So it will have bite again. The front wheel works the same, right? If you go slow, the mud is gonna stick on the tire and you're gonna lose all traction. If you go quickly, the mud is gonna fling off. But unlike the rear, you can't just spin the front. It's a weird thing in dirt biking and adventure riding, but when you're riding on the mud, the quicker you go, the more grip and safer it is. Again, you need a ton of confidence to do that, so I'm not saying you just go 100 kilometers per hour through mud pits from now on. Long story short, in mud, faster is better, which can't really say about almost any other situation when riding off-road.
I hope this video helped or will help you at some point in the future. Now, all of these techniques are usually things that you kind of need to practice, right? You can't just get out in the wild and use them once and be done with it. And this assumes that you already have some techniques, like slipping the clutch and stuff like that. But if you do them, and if you sort of get them into your muscle memory and you know you can do them, it's gonna make rides safer because you know you can turn around, you know you can negotiate clay hills, you know how to ride in the mud, and all of these fun things which will just, you know, make your life better. I know this video was a bit different, but hope you liked it, hope it's gonna be helpful, and see you next time. Bye.